Joyboy Luffy's peak attained. Gear 5 fully explained. Gear 5 has absolutely broken the internet and is tearing up the anime world. This evolution is so iconic, fans are in tears of joy, having finally waited to see this animated in front of their eyes. Today, we're diving into everything we know about Gear 5, fan theories, and what this means for the development of finding the One Piece. First off, how did Luffy awaken this insane power? Is he Joyboy himself reincarnated? What's the truth behind the Gomu Gomu fruit? We'll get to all of that in a second. So get this, he basically unlocked it by, well, dying. After numerous episodes of the glorious Kaido vs. Luffy fight, it looks like our favorite Straw Hat Captain finally was defeated. We saw the devastated reactions of his crewmates, well, the ones that were still conscious at this point in the fight anyways, and it looked like it was game over. Even Momonosuke noticed something weird. Luffy's voice was gone. And since Momo has the voice of all things, we know that's a big deal. But then we hear Zanisha, who seemed to be Joyboy's buddy way back in time, say he can now hear the drums of liberation. That's right, Luffy awakened his devil fruit and unlocked its true powers, meaning that Joyboy is back for the first time in 800 years. We always thought it was a bit strange. It seemed all the other characters in the One Piece universe have such cool, overpowered, elaborate devil fruit powers, but our main character ended up with a rubber abilities fruit. Only that isn't the case. The 5 elders dropped a major bomb on us and explained Luffy's devil fruit isn't your plain old simple Gomu Gomu fruit. Nah, it's way more epic than that. Brace yourself for the mythical Zoan human fruit. Model Sun God Nika. Now, let's get into the juicy details of what this means. This power is gonna flip the whole story upside down. But first, let's break down what Luffy's got going on with this crazy new form. Now, we were first introduced to Sun God Nika back in episode 1040 during Jinbei's fight against Who's Who, a former CP9 agent who was locked up in Impel Down. We learned that the prisoner sometimes prayed to a mysterious symbol of hope and freedom, the sun god Nika, also lovingly referred to as the Warrior of Liberation, who would free slaves with a smile on his face and belting laughter. Now, isn't it so fitting that our very own Luffy, breaker of chains, literally sails around the world liberating oppressed races and fights for those who have no voice, is actually the one who personifies this legendary sun god. Plus, Zunisha dropped a bomb calling Luffy the returned Joyboy from the Void Century, right when he awakened his fruit. Mind-blowing, huh? Things are heating up. Also, the government's been on this crazy hunt for this fruit. They've been chasing it for a whopping 800 years, man. They sacrificed a CP0 agent and knowingly got on bad terms with Kaido, all because they did not want this fruit's powers to be awakened. Knowing that it is, and we quote, the most ridiculous power in this world, they even officially changed the name of this human fruit to the Gomu Gomu fruit all those years ago so no one could try to awaken its true powers. So why are they so obsessed with this fruit? Well, this power hasn't been awakened since the Void Century, which is filled with mystery. And you can bet the world government's got some serious intel on the secret ability that this fruit holds. They're probably also feeling some intense FOMO now that the power has truly slipped out of their hands. Now let's talk about these epic powers. Luffy's about to bring a whole new level of chaos to the story with his sun god Nika form. Can you imagine what he's capable of now? We're itching to find out. So what can he do with his new powers? The 5 elders spill the beans on this legendary fruit. First off, it turns the user's body into rubber. Well, yes, we've known that already for the past 20 years. But hang on, that's just the start. They go on to say this power is the most ridiculous power in the world because when the awakened user is in a fight, he's only limited by his imagination. Say what? Luffy's awakening lets him turn his surroundings into rubber, just like fellow Paramecia Devil Fruit users, Doflamingo and Katakuri with their strings and mochi powers. But hold on, Luffy takes it up a notch. He can also turn other people into rubber. We see this visualized in one of the most stunning animated fights in anime history. Just look at how Luffy blows up Kaido like a balloon, reaches down with a giant-sized fist, grabbing him like a little worm and swinging him around like the Sound of Music on steroids. He also stretches Kaido through his eyeballs and blocks his signature blast breath with a freaking rooftop that he just manipulated like Play-Doh. So basically, Luffy's awakening allows him to turn anything, including people, into rubber as long as he touches them. But wait, there's more! The most jaw-dropping part of Gear 5 is Luffy's ability to turn his imagination into reality. Yep, you heard that right. He can create things just by thinking about them. We see him easily changing his size, becoming bigger and more muscular at will. He can also create things out of thin air, whipping up some air goggles like it's the easiest thing in the world. This devil fruit is taking OP to a whole new level. Also, we know what it means when an anime main character's hair is all white. It can only mean overpowering abilities and epicness. Just look at Jujutsu Kaisen's Gojo, Tokyo Ghoul's Kaneki, Gintama's Gintoki, just to name a few. Don't argue with us here. Fans are also discussing plenty of theories online. Luffy's new powers are about to unravel one of the biggest mysteries since the time skip. Remember when he surprised everyone by suddenly being able to showcase some fire powers back in Fishman Island? Red Hawk, anyone? Our hearts were still grieving Ace's death at that point. We didn't think too much into it, except thinking it was a touching homage to his brother. But yes, why was Luffy able to use fire? Now, thanks to Gear 5, we've got the lowdown on what's really going on. Those fire abilities weren't just some friction trick, nope, they were a sneak peek and foreshadow into Luffy's awakened powers, because with the new Gear 5, Luffy will now gain abilities to manipulate the elements. And get this, he's not stopping at fire. In the future, he'll show us that he's able to grab onto even lightning like it's a walk in the park. Who knows what other elements he'll be able to mess with later on. Okay, and what's the connection with Joyboy? Remember when we mentioned Luffy seemed to have died before those crazy powers kicked in? Well, there's some fan theories that believe that Luffy's spirit went on a little vacation, and the spirit of his devil fruit, or really, the spirit of Joyboy that's been living inside the human fruit, took over his body. And there's evidence to back it up. Newly awakened Luffy mentions his heartbeat sounds funny. He laughs uncontrollably. Even Zunisha said he couldn't believe what he was hearing. A heartbeat that sounded like drums of liberation. Essentially Joyboy or Sun God Nika's unique rhythmic heartbeat. For the first time in 800 years. Also remember, the 5 elders saying Zoan fruits tend to have a soul of their own. Having successfully evaded the world government for 800 years, Joyboy could have been chilling inside that fruit, waiting for the perfect moment to awaken the Chosen One. Talk about destiny, huh? And check this out. The old Joyboy, he had a promise written out on a poneglyph over at Fishman Island. And while we can't say for sure what it was, our best guess is that he wanted to bring peace to the fishmen and get them living on the surface as equals. Our boy Luffy might just be the one to finish what Joyboy started. He's gone through this crazy awakening, and it's got something to do with liberating the world and all those oppressed races. Not only the fishmen, but also minks, dwarves, and others that we've encountered during the Straw Hat Pirate adventures. But hold up, that's not all. There's the legendary One Piece on Laugh Tale that Roger Pirates found. When they saw it, they couldn't stop laughing. Roger knew that the treasure was unattainable until 20 years later. Well, guess whose time has come? That's right, it's our man Luffy's. He's awakened, and we're guessing he's ready to rock the world with whatever Joyboy left behind on that mystical island. There's still so many unanswered twists and turns, but we're here for it. All we can say is, yo, Joyboy's back, baby!